Hi, everyone. I'm actually here with the voice of Formula One. I would say you're the voice of Formula One.
Yeah, shut your eyes. Don't look, just listen.
Just have your ears pricked up listening.
Exactly.
How does it make you feel knowing that when people think of F1, sometimes they hear your voice?
Hmm.
I know when I watch F1, do you know that cat meme? And it's got it's a video and little cat pictures pop up because it's like, that's the person. That's what I picture with you, an F1 photo with your face popping up.
That's a bit weird. No, it's weird when people say I'm the voice of F1.
Mm.
That's not how I see myself at all. But if other people see me that way, that's lovely.
Yeah.
It really is. And if people associate me with the sport, it means I've not had a bad run at this so far. I must
You're
be
doing something
okay.
right.
and I'm making a bit of a difference and an impact there. And that's for a boy from Stevenage in Hertfordshire, where Lewis Hamilton was born as well, who never ever thought he'd be traveling the world and doing a job as idiotic as this, talking to millions and millions of people on a Sunday afternoon, having a conversation where you can't see who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And talking about a sport that they actually love. I never thought
Wouldn't think it would happen. So I was reading about you started your career at a hospital radio, I believe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know it was a career at the time.
Yeah.
So it was just a bit of fun.
There's just something to do.
It's right. Well, so when I was young, many, many years ago, when the world was in black and white and, I was walking around in shorts like I am today.
You are.
And
flip-flops.
And flip-flops. Yeah, I've got my thongs on today. I thought if I
you do call them thongs?
Yeah, well, it's not Aussie interview, so...
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
thongs. I was trying to be accommodating.
Yeah, you were trying to reach out to me. I'm reaching out to you.
Perfect.
The way it goes. So when I was a kid, I used to love listening to sports commentators, and I made my mind up that's what I wanted to be, because these people seem to be having the best time.
Yeah, can confirm that's what I think as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you try telling your teachers that that's what you want to do for a living, and they go, right, okay, yeah, how are you going to do that? Absolutely no idea, but I'll find a way. And I thought one thing I needed to do was to have practice behind the microphone.
Yep.
Do something fun. I love music as well. So I met a guy who was into hospital radio. And so how'd you get into that? Blah, blah, blah. And I got my own show on a local hospital. And that gave me a lot of practice for a couple of years. It was awful. Absolutely awful. But
we all start somewhere.
Exactly. You start somewhere. But that kind of led to other things. And a friend of mine, he was a journalist, got a job as the sports editor of the local newspaper. This was my first big break when he said, look, will you come and report on the local football team? Can't pay you any money, but I'll give you a byline. And that was round about 1993.
Year I was born.
Was it? Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. The whole year.
The whole year. We'll celebrate 93. This now makes me feel very old. But, so
apologies.
That's all right. But that was my big break. And that got me into journalism. I was working in the theatre as a publicity officer inside. But it got me into journalism, and I met people, and I found a way to say yes to every single crazy job opportunity that came my way. And eventually I got a full-time job with the BBC.
Yeah.
A local radio station where I've been doing a whole load of work. And they said, and this is the career advice bit. They said, we want you to do this, this, and that. I said, look, no, I've got a job Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I've got a job on Saturdays. I can't work 4 hours a day before I start my normal job. It's just going to kill me. Do you want me? Give me a full-time job. And they said, yes, you've got a month. She said,
oh.
I said, I want a full-time job. Yes, you've got a full-time job for a month. We'll give you a 1 month contract. Yeah. See how you get on.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what if I don't work out? It's well, you're doing another job then.
Yeah.
You've got to find something else. So if I do work out, we will probably keep you on. And it took me like 2 milliseconds to say yes.
Didn't even think.
No, but
word vomit.
But this was it. I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. Didn't study to be a journalist or a broadcaster. I worked my way up. And someone was now giving me the chance and the opportunity. So I jumped at it.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say, has been ever more rungs up the ladder, etc. To the time I went to Vegas with a few friends, and a mate of mine who produced F1 for BBC Radio said, you should be an F1 commentator.
Oh, wow.
And I said, shut up, you're drunk. Which is what?
Like, I'm not listening to you. Have some water.
It was 2 a.m. We were in a bar. He went,
Yeah.
no, I'm being serious. And he was serious the next morning as well. And so I auditioned for it, got the
Yep.
job. And the rest, as they say, is proper history.
Yeah. Wow. What a story.
I mean, look, I've glossed over it a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure you could talk about it for hours.
I could talk about anything for hours.
I'm sure that's true.
That is the requisite. And so, no, there were a lot of sacrifices that were made along the way where, my mates would be going out on Friday night. I'd be in a radio studio editing,
Yeah.
not getting even paid for it, just learning my craft, getting up first thing in the morning to travel hundreds of miles to report on a football game. And that was my Saturday. But it was worth it because it was what I wanted to do. It was my passion.
We loved it.
Yeah. And we've ended up here in Singapore for, trying to think, my 365th Grand Prix as a commentator.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is, isn't it?
That's basically a full year.
That's my life.
Full year.
Yeah.
Every day. Full year.
Yeah. That's one commentary for every single day of the year.
That's a lot of comments. That's a lot of talking.
It's a lot of talking.
That's a lot of talking.
Yeah, but we've just done one question and we've been talking.
I know. I've got so many. Well, actually, you answered one of the questions. It was going to be what are the sacrifices you made. So
yeah, but you don't feel the sacrifices.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
You sacrifice relationships and friends and time with your loved ones, but you're doing it because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to go out. I think in life and prove how much you want something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're willing to make those sacrifices and put yourself on the line and show people that you're learning and you're developing and your appetite for learning and developing is absolutely to the max, then that's how you should go about any career in life. Because at the end of the day, with getting a job that a lot of people want, people are entrusting you to do the right thing, and you've got to show willing to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can teach that or not, but that's something I've always
I think you can.
Well, look.
To an extent, I think you can.
When did you decide you wanted to be an influencer? When did you decide you wanted to create content? And how much effort have you put into the chance to come and be in Singapore and do crazy things for a few days?
It's been years.
People think it's
years
really
in the making.
This is years in the making. And we'll do this interview. You'll go away and you'll spend hours trying to edit it down into some sort of relevant content.
Yeah.
Saying, no, I've got things to do in my life. But no, your craft, you have learned over the years by putting in a huge amount of effort.
Yeah.
And that's you get to do.
Yeah. I actually used to be a high jumper back in the day. Yeah.
Wow.
I was a professional high jumper. So.
And how good were you?
I represented Australia a couple of times.
Nice.
Yeah. But I got really sick a few years later and then ended up having to stop. But it's a story for another time.
High jumping's really hard though, isn't it?
It's really fun.
I mean,
It's very fun. Yeah, it's very hard. Whenever I jumped, it just made no sense to me. I was like, how am I able to run at this bar that is sitting higher than my head and just propel myself over it like you're just floating.
Yeah,
you just float over the bar. It looks so effortless, but there is so much going into the jump.
It's the technique, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all in the technique, all in the run.
Is one of the most satisfying things though, when you're floating back down. You know you just cleared, I don't know what your personal best was, like 180.
187.
That's close, wasn't it?
Yeah, very close.
So 187. So kids, that's about, that's a lot. See, I work in feet and inches, not meters. But when you've done a 187 and you're floating back down onto the mat, and okay, that takes an absolute fraction of a second. But you're just gliding back down or floating back down, thinking, most satisfying feeling ever.
The best. It was the best. It's always fun as well when you'd slightly hit the bar and it would just move an inch and it would stay on. And you'd sort of land and just stare at the bar, you're like, stay. You're trying to tell it to stay on. Like, don't fall off. Please don't fall off. It's the best, yeah.
I was rubbish at high jumping.
Really?
I am so envious that you could do that. No, I am. I'd like, look at my bears, everybody. I was told shot put. Yeah. Go and do shot put, Croft.
Not hurdles?
Not hurdles.
Not hurdles?
Don't shot put, javelin.
Javelin, yeah.
But that's posh darts. I'd rather play normal darts, to be fair.
It is too. Darts is huge.
No, darts is great.
Oh my God, it's massive.
Well, darts was my big break. New broadcasting.
Was it?
Yeah, that was when I worked for the BBC and radio.
Yeah.
They covered the darts championships for a couple of years. And one of our editors in TV came to see me in the office and said, can you recommend anyone that could do commentary for the Darts World Championships? So, I could recommend several people, but I'll put myself at the top of the list. Oh, why is that? I said, well, I know the sport. I know the players. I love the sport. I love being down there, and prepared to work for peanuts.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I think it was a kind of trick question. He wanted me to actually put myself forward.
Yeah.
And then I got the job as a second commentator at the Darts World Championships.
What year was that?
That was 2002
Man.
at the
Is that
Lakeside.
the same year you started F1 commentating?
That was 2006.
2006, yeah.
So I did Darts for 4 years beforehand.
Yeah.
And I remember getting there on the Sunday night. I had to do a football game first. Got there on the Sunday night, and I bumped into a guy called Andy the Viking Fordham, larger than life character. God rest his soul. Loved Andrews. We became really good friends. And him and his friend, Andy'd gone out the first round. Him and his friend Steve-O told me, I've got to watch this guy, Tony David. He's from Australia, from Townsville in Australia. Total unknown. No one knows anything about him. But he's throwing some really good darts. And so I watched his first round match and he won it. And still nobody fancied him for the title. So I had a bet.
Yeah. Oh, you bet
40 to 1.
Oh,
40 to
wow.
1.
Wow, okay.
Bet on Tony David. And he went and won the tournament.
Which one?
Amazing. He was from Townsville. And, was playing through the pain barrier quite literally. It was quite a stressful week for the players. And I went and won it. And all I remember is coming home from the Darts Championship for the radio, thinking, well, I love this darts.
Yeah.
I got
This is
paid
fun.
and I made money, and this guy won at 40 to 1. It was sensational.
Like, I'm going to do this more often.
Yes.
I like this one.
Very, very satisfying.
Yeah. I should probably go back to F1.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Talking about darts, Kayo's going to be like, well, this is great. Talking about everything. What has been your most memorable race throughout your entire your full year's worth of races?
4 years worth of races. No, there have been several that I've been lucky enough to witness and play a part in the race and the storyline. But Abu Dhabi 2021,
Yeah. That was
for various
insane.
reasons, was, look, if we ever get a situation like that again,
I hope we do.
I'll be surprised,
Oh, really?
deeply satisfied that, I'm in that position once more, whereby it's gone down to the final race.
Yeah.
It has now gone down to the last lap. There's controversy, but there's also excellence. And Max is in a position where, the rules haven't been followed.
Yep.
And he is in with a chance that 6 laps ago, we really didn't think he was in with a chance, but he's still going to make it stick and he's still going to make the overtake. And that last lap, it's a bit like you say you have no idea how you got over the bar and how you cleared 187. I have no idea how and why I came up with what I said on that last lap. And I've listened back to
word vomit. It just came out. Like, oh.
But it's just everything you've learned in your career so far has led up to this
it's
moment
molded you to
where you're going to hopefully come up with the right words.
Yeah.
And I remember Ross Brawl, who old Ferrari technical director, and then obviously Brawn team principal and worked with F1, one of the legends of the sport, said to me that he was standing up in his living room shouting at his television.
I was shouting at my iPad. I was lying in bed because it was like 2 a.m. Australia or something.
So you're watching on Kayo.
Yeah, watching on Kayo.
And that's the beauty of Kayo. That you can take it anywhere you want.
Exactly.
For Australian viewers, at least you can take it into the bedroom and not have to wake the whole house up.
Exactly. My poor family.
So Ross is shouting at Teddy. I went, why are you shouting at Teddy? You don't shout at anyone. He said, yeah, you got me so excited.
Yeah, wow.
The situation got me so excited. I couldn't stop myself. And I'm thinking, well, okay, that's what I want. I want people to be passionate about the sport that I love. I want them to be in that moment with me and Martin, and enjoying it in whatever way they can. And what came out of my mouth came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it came from. And I certainly didn't script any lines because you can't script.
You can't predict what's going to happen. Yeah.
And it was only as we kind of turned the mics off and handed back to Simon, we're like,
wait a second.
Just happened here.
That was a second to process everything.
Yeah, well, we've got Christian Horner telling us that Red Bull need a miracle, to the miracle happening, to the rules not being followed.
Toto screaming down the...
Toto screaming down the team radio. Rules not being followed in a very honest mistake. I know Michael Massey. I've known Michael Massey for many, many years. There was no conspiracy.
Yeah.
It was an honest mistake there. And I know that's not very palatable to some fans, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
But to be in that situation, that's the honour. That's the privilege. And that's the trust that Sky Sports have in me to deliver, the lines at the right moment. And we won a BAFTA for it. So that's brilliant.
Very true. Yeah.
And I do have a BAFTA trophy sat next to my television at home. Really heavy.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
I had to take a
That's
rucksack.
surprising.
I had to go to BAFTA and pick it up.
Yeah.
I'd take a rucksack with me because I carry a bag just
hold on.
But it's amazing that you get recognised for that moment, and the whole team get recognised.
Like, I even remember in that moment, like, your voice hyping everyone up. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
But it was kind of because we had the safety car, and then we were about to get going. Yeah. And I know, so we've now got 3.5 miles, right, or whatever the lap distance is at Abu Dhabi. It's about that, where it is all or nothing for Lewis. There's no coming out of this second and thinking, yes, I've done all right.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah,
it's right. My job to go, right, okay, focus, people. This is it.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's what I did.
Yeah, I think
interestingly, we sit here before the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah.
There's 59 points between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. Lando's second, Max is leading. If Lando wins every race, right?
Yeah.
And Max finishes second.
Is it second?
Yeah, Max finishes second between now and Abu Dhabi. Yep. And Lando gets the bonus point for the fastest lap. And then you've got the sprint races and Lando wins those and Max finishes second.
Yeah.
If Lando's got that fastest lap, and he's leading and Max is second in Abu Dhabi, they will be level on points.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be level.
They will be absolutely dead level on points.
I mean, what's the chances of that? Should we put a bet on?
What's the chances of 2021?
Yeah, that's true. Anything can happen. That's the thing I love about sport, how unpredictable it is. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, this is live sport, which is why, and I know it sounds like a dreadful plug, but it's true. Kayo is so important, for Australian Formula One fans and fans in Australia of any sport, because you never know when the exciting moments are going to come. Yeah. Therefore, you've got the ability to join in and be a part of it wherever you are.
Yeah.
I flew back from America on Sunday. I would have missed the start of the race in the UK had I not got my Sky Go. Yeah. I was in the back of a taxi watching.
Like, let me, I just watch it. I need to watch everything. Yeah.
Shouting and screaming, and my driver going, what's all that? So, it's all right. Start the F1 in. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be there? Yeah, I know, but I had that race off. So imagine the scene, right? So they're level on points, but fastest lap. So Max could hit to try and get the fastest lap off Lando, which means that McLaren will probably have Oscar pitting to try and get the fastest lap point off Max, and then Kevin Magnussen will pit just to get the fastest lap because it's his last race. And he's entitled to do that. That's not a criticism of Kevin. I just plucked his name out of thin air. But these scenarios you've got to think about. Yeah. Because in 2021, I was certain it was going to go down to the last race. Just the way that thing was down.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Gosh, could be the exact same thing.
Remember,
imagine Max and Lando.
Exactly. Remember, you heard it here first.
Yes, exactly. Heard it here first. It's back to the last lap. Speaking of McLaren and the driver dynamic, what do you think McLaren should be doing?
As a double-edged sword, that question. Catch me out. McLaren should be doing whatever they feel is right for the team. Yeah. Not just at this moment in time, but for the future going forward as well. Because the decisions you make now will affect your future. Yeah. And what McLaren are desperately trying to do is ensure that there is parity and both drivers feel that they are treated equally. And whilst Lando might get paid more than Oscar because he's been in the sport a little bit longer, they're saying, in the championship, Lando's leading Oscar's behind him, but we're not on number one, number two. Yeah, we're not on Red Bull. Yeah, that's not that. We're not a Max Sergio thing here, because if you tell Oscar Piastri he is a number two driver,
he's
not going to like it.
Yeah, go to another team.
stop this and go to another team, but you're gonna demotivate him by saying that.
Yeah.
If you say to Oscar, there are times we want you to help your teammate, but we'll make that call when it happens.
Yeah.
That's more acceptable.
And then times where he'll be put
and
the running spot.
Well, look at Lando holding up Sergio in Baku.
Yes.
And he did that because they needed him to just keep Sergio back so Oscar could pit and stay ahead. So they're making decisions on the fly. Now, I did think in Monza, and I stated this on Sky Sports News, that was when team orders needed to come in for that race.
Yes,
Thereby,
I agree.
Max was far enough behind for Lando who had an excellent chance of winning, to put a big gap between himself and Max in terms of on the track, and then make up a significant number of points. Oscar doing what he did turned a probable 1-2 into a 2-3.
Yeah.
And there's more points missed out.
Yeah.
And there's Lando thinking, hey, come on a minute. I'm not expecting him to be doing that into the second chicane. I don't like that. Now, whether Oscar went against papaya rules or not, I don't know. Only McLaren know that. But I would imagine that Andrea Stella was not hugely happy with what he saw. But it's a balance. The trouble with F1, it is a team sport, but we all concentrate on the drive.
So very individual as well. It's hard. It's tricky.
I just don't want to beat each other.
Yeah.
But they need to work together sometimes for the good of the team.
Yeah.
And the prize money gets paid out on the team's championship, not on the driver's championship.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of selfish. It's being selfish, but also having to be a team player as well.
Yeah. Do you think ego kind of gets in the way?
Of course, ego gets in the way of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's not unique to Formula One.
Yeah.
But are they playing it right? I think they dropped a few points that they didn't need to drop.
Yeah.
Hungary, I think it was right to give Oscar the win because he was on a strategy that wasn't the preferential strategy. Lando was on that. The team had put him on that. But Lando deserved to win that. Oscar deserved to win that race. And that was too early in the championship to start imposing team orders. But I think now it's not. Now time is running out.
Yeah. There's only 7 races left. 7? Yeah.
So imagine the scenario here in Singapore. Oscar's winning, Lando's second, Max is fifth.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's 7 points. Sorry, that's 5 points. I'll get my maths right. 8 points, because it's 18 for second, between Lando and Max.
Yeah.
But you swap them around at the front, and that's now 15 points.
Yeah.
And that is a 52-point lead going into Austin, or it's a 44-point lead going into Austin. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So you've got to think, Oscar would want the win. It's not going to be hugely palatable to say swap it round. But for the good of the championship, for Lando, yes, it is. But then I was speaking to Oscar Piastri yesterday, and I said, do you still think you're in with a chance of winning the Drivers' Championship? He went, yeah.
Maybe.
And he's not mathematically out of it. So then, yes, of course, he has got a chance. So what do you do?
I mean, the way he's driving, you never know.
Yeah, look, Oscar's a brilliant driver, and I think he will be a world champion one day. Because I think he is more than good enough, and handles the pressure so well. But it's not an easy answer.
Yeah.
Which is why McLaren haven't come out and said we've got a number 1, we've got a number 2, and why people say this is Senna and Prost all over again. It's not. They don't hate each other, or they don't dislike each other. They're not going to ram each other off the road. Yeah. But they are of an ability to be both considered as a number 1 driver.
They're both amazing. They're great. I went to an event yesterday and Lando was there. Yeah. He was saying how much he loved Singapore, but how hard it is for them, like mentally and physically, the sweat, the humidity. I can't imagine how hot it is inside those suits.
Well,
oh my gosh.
You are having to constantly hydrate, but yet still you're losing 3 kilos.
Yeah.
As a racing driver. If you imagine exercising in a sauna, steam room, yeah, just the humidity. You try and run on the spot at home. Try and run on the spot in a steam room, and then tell me Formula One's not a proper sport. Yeah. It's a ridiculous notion.
Let's not forget about the The neck.
Yeah. Well, the neck's not too bad because you haven't got many
Okay.
you haven't got many high-speed corners.
Yeah.
It's mental attrition.
Yeah.
You will often see mistakes in the latter stage. You know what it's like as a former professional athlete.
Yeah.
It's that ability to cope with the physicality but still make the right decisions while you're doing it. I spoke to Nico Rosberg about this once.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a chat in the office because I'd just been doing my walking uphill for an hour.
Yeah.
Because when you get to my age, you can't run all the time, does the joints in.
You go on your hot girl walks.
And I'm on what? I'm on what?
We call them hot girl walks in Australia.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've got motion. Yeah. No, I don't.
No, we don't have little hand weights, just hot girl walks. Just some nice walks.
Now, what I do, I go on the treadmill at home and I put it on an incline, 10%, and I walk for an hour at 6 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that gets the heart
Pretty
rate
solid. That's very solid.
And I do that because I can also watch TV while I'm doing it. Yeah. Whereas if you're running, in fact, the TV is doing that. You can't do it. And Nico said, well, yeah, I used to do that. He said, but I did 12%, 6.5K. Yeah, of course you did. Nico, you're a professional. And I used to play poker. I said, did you? He said, I play 7 hands of poker.
While he's
I
on
was
the
doing
treadmill.
I'm like, well, have you got a gambling problem?
Choose some help.
Exactly. I've got the number of a person there. And he went, no. I did that so that I could keep my brain, functioning and make the right mental decisions whilst I was exercising. It's really
very interesting, yeah.
See, you should have taken up F1, not high jumper.
I know.
Yeah, you just ran, leapt.
I know. It was pretty boring. I fell. Oh, God. Sometimes I brought the bars down as well. That was always fun. That was always very fun. I was going to say, what is your favorite part about Singapore? Favorite aspects of Singapore, the city, and then also Singapore, the race.
So, Singapore, the race, easy. It's a night race. Yeah. Being a student again. And I didn't go to university, but I did study at some stage in my life. I basically, other than when you come and say, Crofty, can we meet at 10 a.m.?
Yeah. Very sorry.
I'm in bed till midday. Lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I go to sleep about 3 a.m. There's nothing in there. You sleep till midday. It's like being a student again. Yeah. Love it. And also the cars.
You don't feel guilty?
I do not feel guilty at all. Cars look amazing. Under the lights, you'll notice this when you see them on the track. Yeah. They take on a whole new look. I love that we've created a history now of Formula One in Singapore. And you walk around the town, it's a very young fan base. Yeah. Because, they've grown up through, the last 14 years watching Formula One. They're really passionate about it. And that's great. We're taking F1 to new places all the time and staying there. And the fan base keep coming back and coming back. And that's the future, We don't want to abandon our roots. And we want to keep the classic tracks. But you've got to have,
something new and exciting.
Yeah, and a good mixture too. So I love the spectacle of the night race. I love that we've created an audience. And on behalf of the Singapore Tourist Board, ladies and gentlemen, I also love Singapore chili crab. If you ever come to this part of the world,
chili crab,
you have to eat the chili crab. It's messy. It's really messy, but it's going to give you a bit. It's fantastic.
Does it have a little crab on it?
It has a little crab on it. So get yourself to, where did I go last year? Jumbo Seafood.
Jumbo Seafood. Okay. I'll have to go there.
It was just mega. They gave me like bread to dip in the sauce.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Oh, that's delicious. I have to go there before we go to the track.
Yes.
Tomorrow? Today, Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
I'd go today.
Yesterday, yeah.
Or how long are you staying to?
Till Tuesday.
Right. Okay. Monday night, Jumbo Seafood.
Oh.
I would have flown back home by that stage, I'm afraid.
It's a bit sad.
Otherwise, you could take me with some jumbo crab.
Yeah.
For some chili crab. But go and have that. That's mega. Go down to some of the older parts of town, the architecture.
Yeah, I really want to explore more city as well.
Club Street's really good for cocktails as well.
Oh, love that.
Got to have a Singapore sling.
Coffee. Do you like coffee?
I do not like coffee.
Tea. Do you like tea?
See, I'm so not British.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
There you go.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
No tea or coffee.
It's tea bags. Tea bags give me the ick. They really do. They give me the ick.
I don't like the soft material ones. You can get some nice ones that feel really expensive, and they're nice. Okay.
You can't, because there's still a bag with tea leaves in it. They get soggy, and it gives me the ick.
Oh, I mean, that's fair.
This is how much.
Interesting.
This is how I knew that I love my wife. Well, the lady who's now my wife, we got married.
She doesn't like tea either.
No, she loves tea.
Oh,
And I used to make her a cup of tea in the morning. And I would do it willingly. It's like, how much do I love you? Look,
yeah.
cup of tea. This thing's giving me the ick.
You'd put aside your ick and make the tea.
That's what you got to do, boys.
You do. I actually saw you got married a few weeks ago.
That's right.
The race weekend. Did you have some sneaky? Did you switch off completely, or did you?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't race weekend.
We honeymooned on race weekend.
Honeymoon on race weekend. Did you have to like sneak off and just quickly watch some races, or did you just completely switch off?
I completely switched off.
Oh, that's nice.
Which was really nice.
Mm.
Tried to avoid all F1 references during the wedding as well.
Yep.
But I got wins. There was a sweepstakes on my speech as to how many times I'd mentioned lights out and away we go.
Oh.
Damon Hill let the cat out of the bag on that one. And so I rewrote the speech so that I had 2 mentions of it.
Yeah.
Because I think he had 2 in the sweepstakes. You know, stick together with a chap. You can't go far wrong with that one. And we did the final toast was, lights out and away we go to the Croft marriage.
Gotta do it.
Had to be done.
You can't not.
No, exactly.
You can't not do it. I love it.
So yeah, it was mega. It was a great celebration with all our family and friends. And one of the Sky Sports team might have fallen asleep in the bush. That is the revelation from the Croft.
Oh.
But I'm not saying who.
Who is it? So they're staying at this hotel?
Yes, they are staying at this hotel. I can't tell you.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go on Instagram and do some stalking, like tagged photos, find who works at Sky, who fell in a bush. I'm sure surely there's a photo somewhere.
Who fell asleep in the bush?
That's
no
hilarious.
one is ever going to say.
I mean, fair enough.
But it happens.
Fair enough. At a wedding, absolutely. That always happens.
Exactly.
I've had similar encounters.
Have you fallen asleep in the bush at a wedding?
Almost. Almost. Fallen into bushes.
Really? Well, falling is one thing.
Sleeping's another. That wouldn't be very comfortable.
I would imagine so.
No. Gosh.
Leave it there. There's your bombshell exclusive.
I'm going to keep that one. Keep that one to myself. Going into Singapore, how does it compare to Australia, to the Melbourne circuit?
It's a completely different, it's a completely different vibe and atmosphere.
Yeah.
And neither are, worse for it. But the thing about Albert Park, it's one of the reasons Albert Park in Silverstone, I put very much on a park.
Mm-hmm.
It's a festival.
Yeah.
It's not just a Grand Prix. It's a festival of motorsport.
Yeah.
The noise, the buzz, the passion, the non-stop action, the multitude of things to do. The sunshine. Yeah, we do get sunshine in Silverstone occasionally.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and we have the best stripes.
It was raining all of this year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And that disappointed me because we have the best stripes on the grass by the side of a racetrack.
I know.
Of any track anywhere in the world, there's still stripes.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a man who likes stripes in his lawn at home, these things are good. But they're very much on the mark. I love being in Albert Park. It is a great, great race to host a Grand Prix. Now, I'm not saying it's the best track. It's better for the current,
regulations.
The regulations with DRS, but also the work they've done to try and make it a bit better as well. There are more things they could do, but you're in a park and you've got to work with the people that want to use it for the other 51 weeks of the year. But the fact that we have the Aussie V8s down there.
The V8s are fun, aren't they? I love the V8s.
Fun, they sound
I'm going to the V8s to Adelaide 500 in November.
It sounds. How'd you get to go in? Are they going to give you a passenger ride?
I think so.
Oh, yes.
I hope so.
I've done the passenger ride.
You have?
Yeah.
Fun?
It was fun till I had to get out.
You a bit dizzy?
Well, no, not so much that. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get out?
Yeah.
I was
You're just in a shell.
Exactly.
Big little shell.
On the cage. I was in a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I've always dislocated my neck trying to get in this thing. You honestly, you're poor. You're going to struggle on this one. But I'm also tall and big, and I had to go out sideways. It was the most undignified exit.
Oh, no.
And I was thinking, as we were bombing around Albert Park, if you crash, I'm in trouble there.
Yeah.
Never get out. But, I'm loving it anyway.
Yeah.
So the V8s, love the V8s. In fact, we've got the F2 there now as well. It's just a great festival. And whereas Bahrain is brilliant for a season opener, and it really is a great track to have a season opener, we're going to get a very different season opener. I'm like... And a big celebration in Melbourne.
Excuse me.
I'm from Melbourne. We should have it.
We like season opener in Melbourne.
I like the fact that we have different places to this season.
Yep.
And for Oscar Piastri, I am sure
Oscar,
the next year, it's great that it's a season opener because he can get his home race and the season opener out the way in one go and then concentrate,
all that pressure
just
off his shoulders.
all the way off his shoulders on a plane to China.
Enough.
Wouldn't it be amazing? Hometown boy winning his hometown race.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. How do you think Oscar will go next year?
I think Oscar will be absolutely fine. Oscar is a talent.
Yeah.
An exceptional talent. Whoever wins out in the McLaren battle this year wins out.
Yeah.
It'll be a reset next year. They're both number one drivers. They're both pushing each other to new and greater heights time after time. You know what it's like. You need a rival.
Yeah.
You
need someone there to push you. And
exactly. I'm sure you had that
motivation
in your competition as well. And they've very much got that at McLaren. So as long as the car's good, Oscar will be.
Yeah. Oh, unlike the Red Bull, that's not. Well, it's too great at the moment.
They lost their way a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I actually want to ask, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
You read a lot of stories.
Yeah. There's been a few the last few days as well.
They turn out to be stories and nothing else. But I think the situation is quite clear.
Yeah.
Either Daniel moves up into the main team or Daniel doesn't drive in F1 before Red Bull or decarb next year.
Yeah.
I would be very, very sad to see Daniel Ricciardo make his exit from F1 again.
I think everyone will.
He's not just a terrific human being. Make no mistake, he is a terrific human being. But he's also a fabulous driver. And he's given us some amazing moments. And when Oscar made his move on Charles in Baku, and that brilliant overtake to take the lead, maybe the biggest compliment you can pay to Daniel Ricciardo at that moment is how just like Danny Rick.
Yeah.
When Danny Rick was on top of his game, just like Danny Rick.
Oh, yeah.
The last of the late breakers. And he gave us some brilliant moments like that. Personally, I don't think he should ever have left Red Bull in the first place.
I agree with you there.
I think that was the wrong move, and he'll probably admit that himself.
Yeah.
The fact that he's come back is great, but he has not consistently beaten over the course of this year a guy in Yuki Tsunoda who the Red Bull hierarchy don't see as being good enough to go into the senior team. And because of that, it's difficult to justify why Danny Rick should be replacing Sergio Perez. And I think that's their way of thinking on this one.
Yeah.
Will Sergio stay at Red Bull? Don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he stayed there in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed there again. But there maybe are other options that they could explore would give them a better return. And that might open the way. If Liam Lawson went into the Red Bull team, might open the way for Danny Rick to stay. But RB is a junior team to bring young Red Bull drivers through. So that's a very long-winded way of saying I don't know what's going to happen. But if you were to tell me to get off the fence, I would say, sadly, I don't think we'll be having a Danny Rick conversation this time next year about how's he going to get on in the Singapore Grand Prix. And I hate saying that because I don't want Danny Rick to stop.
Yeah, neither do I. I think anyone does. And
it's rare that someone from Melbourne would be rooting for someone from Perth, because it's like opposite sides of the country. Yeah.
It's like the opposite side of the world.
And that's how gorgeous Danny Rick is.
Yeah.
Even people in Melbourne love Danny Rick.
Oh, everyone loves Danny Rick. Everyone loves him.
Danny Rick, I remember doing a feature with him many, many years ago at the Download Festival.
Yeah.
Where we went to see Parkway Drive together because we both love Parkway Drive.
Okay, fun.
It was fun. You may have gone into a mosh pit.
How are you in a mosh pit?
I'm a great mosh pit, trust me. I
have a great time.
I get my elbows out the mosh pit. I love the mosh pit.
They're fun.
I do. And I love my metal as well. And we had a brilliant Download. It was sensational.
That's nice.
We went backstage, we met Winston and the boys and had a good chat. And this was Parkway Drive way, way back. They just released Wild Eyes. It was still one of their best at.
Yeah.
So we're there. We're getting to the mosh pit, and I'm like, Nicola, you're racing next week. You're in the middle of a Formula 1 season.
That's amazing.
Ross at the time. We're in the mosh pit.
This is in the mosh pit having a great time.
We so need to keep this from Fran's toast and not say anything, and I'm shook.
Social media banned.
I reckon there's got to be GoPro footage somewhere, unless we've deleted it, Me and Danny Rick in a mosh pit, but it was. I was a
You have to find that.
Yeah,
Pull it back up.
I
somehow.
think so. I remember the day because we were talking in the van going up to download, and I said, "How you liking Woburn Sands?" Which is where he was living at the time. I lived quite close by. He said, "Well, it's okay, but I'm not going to be there for long." I went, "No, really?
Is that right?
He said, "Yeah, I'm going to be moving." I said, "Oh, where are you moving to?" So I'm moving to Monaco. I went, "Oh, promotion." At which point he went quiet. I went, "You've got a promotion, haven't you?" He went,
You're like, I can read it all over your face.
I can't say. I went, right. You're going to have to say.
Yeah.
You're going to have to trust
You can't
me."
not tell me.
Well, we did a couple of questions about him. Are you ready to drive for Red Bull?
Yeah.
To replace Mark Webber.
Yeah.
And he gave me two very, very good answers without saying, yes, I'm definitely going to be driving for Red Bull. And I said, look, we're going to use this feature for Silverstone. If Mark hasn't announced it by that stage, we won't put these questions.
Yeah.
Trust me, mate. I'm not going to blow.
You're not going to.
I'm not going to blow the
Do them dirty.
What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
All I'm going to do is upset Danny.
And you'll lose that trust as well.
Lose that trust.
Yeah.
And we kept our words. And on the Thursday, I think it was a Silverstone, Mark Webber announced his retirement. And we're like, brilliant. We've got it in the can. Ready to go.
Yeah, we're doing it. It's happening.
It's happening. What do you do on your day off as a racing driver? You go to a racetrack and you get in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
It was kind of born on that.
Gotta do it.
And I'm still loving Parkway Drive to this day. And they are still the best bunch of guys.
There you go.
So, I took my son to see them at Download last year. And we went backstage and met them. They're a great band.
I'll have to go see them.
If you've never seen Parkway Drive live,
No, I haven't. I'll have to go.
they're intense, but they're great intense.
Yeah, I think probably in a few drinks beforehand.
Don't. The food.
Like, no.
Do it so it's a better experience.
Yeah. Feel everything. Feel the music.
Just not understand a dot of what we're saying or know who Parkway Drive are.
Go listen. Go listen.
Give your
Pause this.
Yeah, give
Go
your
listen.
treat.
I was going to say as well, if you could convince a casual F1 fan to become a hardcore fan, how would you convince them?
Oh my lord. Look, I think F1 is like an onion, right? And when you peel back the layers.
Shrek reference?
Yeah, see, you weren't expecting that one. When you peel back the layers, it makes you cry, right?
Yeah.
Because
It does.
It makes you cry. And because it's hard sometimes to understand what on earth is going on.
Yeah.
It is
It is. It really is.
sport. Someone asked me the other day, why do you like darts and F1? I said, it's all aerodynamics.
I was about to say they're very different, but you're not wrong.
I said, but also I need an antidote.
Yeah.
F1
Aerodynamics.
makes me think a lot. Darts is just, good, bad on every throat.
Mhm.
And but you peel back the layers, it makes you cry. And eventually you find the juiciest, sweetest spot, wherever that is on the onion. And it's worth getting that far because the taste is amazing. So that's my kind of reference it. I would never convince anyone. No, say that again. I would never try and convince anyone to be a hardcore Formula One fan.
Yeah.
Find the bit that's your sweet spot.
Yeah.
Find the bit that's the level you want to enjoy the sport at. Yes, you can sit there, with your Kayo on, your timing screen on, and your driver tracker on, and all that data is all there for you. And yes, it enhances your viewing experience. Or you could just watch it on Kayo and listen to our commentary. Because whatever way makes you happy and excited and gives you a pleasure from watching some of the greatest drivers on the planet go wheel to wheel over 200 miles an hour, that's good. And if that sounds really dull to you, I don't know why you put up with the first 50 minutes of this conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's not dull. Formula One is such an exciting sport. There are so many different subplots. There are so many reasons why things go good, they go wrong, or go right. You just got to find your level. Whatever level that is, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, even on social media, being a woman that loves F1, you have men coming into the comments saying, well, who won the Monaco Grand Prix in 1934?
Who cares?
That doesn't matter. I love the sport.
Exactly.
I love being immersed in it. And just because I don't know who has won every Grand Prix for the last 20 years, it doesn't matter.
It's like a badge of honor in life, isn't it? There are certain sections of a population that think you have to know everything about everything to be a true fan. No. if you devote time, effort, money, and passion into anything, then you deserve your place in the family. You don't have to know everything about it. But if you want to know that, that's brilliant.
Good on you.
And that's your level of consuming the sport we love. The beautiful thing, I think, about Drive to Survive, it's brought in a new era of fans.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Who want to consume it at a very different level to the way you've had to consume it in the past. And what I mean by that is that in the past, Formula One has served up the live sports and has said, stick around for the soap opera because the soap opera is quite cool.
It's a bit juicy.
Exactly. And now, Drive to Survive, simple work. Drive to Survive has served up the soap opera and people want to stick around for the live sport. So we flipped it around a little bit.
It's nice when you can see both narratives as well.
Totally agree.
Marry it together and you get the whole picture.
How much of your time do you spend on Formula One during the course of the week? Are you one of these, you check Twitter to see the links?
Yeah, Twitter, apps, everything, Instagram, TikTok. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. Last question. We have been chatting for a very long time.
How are you?
Any predictions for this weekend?
Like anyone listens to my predictions. Look, they do. Yeah, well, they do. They're often wrong. But the only prediction I can give you this weekend is that there's a lot of people in the fight.
Yep.
Probably not Red Bull. To be fair, for the win, that is. Mercedes potentially, but I'm not sure. Although both Lewis and George are capable of pulling a lap out the bag qualifying.
We have a joke in Australia. You know Stephen Bradbury?
Stephen Bradbury.
Yeah. So for the Winter Olympics, he was coming, what sport was it? Skating. And he was coming last. And then everyone in front of him fell. Yeah. And he went through and won it. And so there's a joke that George Russell is a Stephen Bradbury. Because he always seems to be right time, right position to, gain an advantage off someone else's fall.
So last year, very correct.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That one too.
That was last. It was so last year with George. Yeah, it's like the Foynaber. Foynaber was a horse at the Grand National. All the horses fell at the Canal Turn, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then Foynaber jumped it. It was like 100 to 1 shot.
Yeah.
And then went and won the race because
everyone else had fallen.
Yeah. Brilliant. I like the Stephen Bradbury reference.
It's a good one.
But I do think both Lewis and George are capable of a lap, to pull out the bag. Realistically, it's Ferrari against McLaren for the win.
Yeah.
And both go into this with a massive sense of expectation that they could go and do this. Overtaking's tricky, not impossible. It's a fourth DRS zone. We don't.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Where have they put that?
They put that on the run from the end of the Esplanade to the right hand. It's turn 14 to 16.
Yeah.
Where we used to go. Now we're going straight, but we used to go in front of the grandstand where is Prix.
Yeah.
All those years ago. That might help keep the cars a bit closer together, might give us a bit more overtaking. Might mean that if Oscar's in the lead again, he's got Charles down his neck.
Yeah.
I think a McLaren 1-2 is not on the equation here. Which way it goes,
you don't know. I'm hoping for Oscar.
Well, in which case then, I'll root for Lando.
Okay.
Just to say the opposite side.
Debrief at the end of the race.
And I know we are talking to a lot of Australians here, but I've gone off the brief now, haven't I? All I do know is A, it's going to be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
B, it's a great time for Australian audiences. You can go to work on a Monday morning without bags under your eyes.
It's a 10 p.m. race for us. 10 p.m.
Middle of the afternoon.
Right.
Fantastic. You can take your Kayo with you under the duvet and watch the race, yeah?
That's what I do.
There you go. F1 Under the Duvet. It's a new podcast coming your way. Courtesy.
I like that. There we go. I have to get that one.
Love it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy.